Hey, sixth grade squad, it is time for us to read together. Today we're going to read the chapter called The Clark Sisters. I can only imagine if we were in the classroom right now, the questions and comments that we would have, because on the last page of the last chapter, the girls just got back from their San Francisco excursion to find their mom and two Black Panthers being walked out of their house in handcuffs and being arrested. And that's it. I almost just gave you a spoiler. I almost just did the classic Miss Carolyn told you about. Sorry. I didn't. It's okay. If you hear any weird noises, it's Mr. Todd making lunch, and he'll probably come over and say hi to you guys. Because sixth grade's his favorite, of course. The Clark Sisters, page 158. We were only a few houses away when Vanetta said, "Hey!" I could feel Fern wanting to leap out, ready to call out, but I pulled her back and I shushed them both. "What about their rights?" Vanetta said. "Yeah, we know about rights," Fern said. "Just shh," I said. My heart was pounding. "They're Panthers. They're grown," I said, although I didn't think that Cecile truly was a Panther. "They know their rights." But I told Vanetta to be quiet. We were now coming up on the house with all the patrol car lights flashing. Cecile was almost as tall as the policeman who walked her to a flashing patrol car. He bent slightly to tell her something. She said loudly, "Kids? I don't have no kids. They belong to the Clarks down the street." She wouldn't even look at us. We were closer now, where the police could really see us. With my shoulders, arms, and legs exactly like hers, Vanetta's "I don't care" eyes exactly like hers, and Fern, a smaller version of Vanetta and me, I said, "She's not our mother. I'm Delphine Clark." "I'm Vanetta Clark." "I'm Fern Clark." And we lived down the street with Pa and Big Ma. Yeah, down the street in a blue stucco house. "Not with this lady," I said. "Not with her." "Surely don't." They had already pushed Cecile down into the back seat of the car. I said to my sisters without looking at Cecile, "Come on." We walked past our mother. We walked with our bag of fried rice and chicken wings as far as we could without looking back. My heart was still pounding, and the smell of the fried food was making me sick. Why had the police arrested Cecile? She wrote "Send Us Back to Africa" poems and movable type poems. She didn't write "Off the Pig" and "Kill Whitey" poems. That is, if writing poems were a crime. It was just as Sister Mukumbo and Crazy Calvin were trying to teach us. In Oakland, they arrest you for being something, saying something. If you were a freedom fighter, sooner or later you would be arrested. Fern asked, "Why'd she say she didn't have no kids?" "She had to," I said. "Why?" "They would have taken us away, split us up, and put us into juvie or something." Fern said, "I don't want to go to juvie." Vanetta said, "She sure said it easy. Kids, I don't have no kids." It was like she was saying, "Cooties, I don't have no cooties." I reminded her, and we said we were the Clarks, real quick, real easy. "I was following you," Vanetta said. "Me too," Fern said. Well, we had to say that. Did you want them to send us to juvenile hall or call Pa and Big Ma and worry them to death? We'd have to wait in juvie hall until Pa or Big Ma came from New York to get us. You wouldn't like juvie hall. It's just like jail. By the time that we had turned around and started back, the police cars had driven off with Cecile and the two Black Panthers. I let us in. I couldn't tell from the living room what had happened between Cecile and the police and the two Black Panthers. The door had not been kicked in like it had at Hirohoto's house. Cecile didn't have much in her house to begin with. Then I pushed open the door to the kitchen. Out of habit, Vanetta and Fern stayed in the living room until they heard me gasp. They followed quickly behind me and timidly peered in. Red and black ink was smeared across the floor. Torn and scuffed up white paper wings covered the floor. Drawers had been ripped out of cabinets. Large and tiny blocks of metal letters had flown everywhere. Blocks of metal E's, S's, A's, and T's, paper, ink, everywhere. The printing machine toppled over. Rollers knocked out. Legs from my second-hand stool cracked and split off from the wooden seat. All we could do was take it in. Vanetta and Fern were seeing the inside of the kitchen, Cecile's workplace, for the first time. I was imagining what had happened, how Cecile didn't want them in her house, in her workplace, where she only allowed me and at a distance. That the police might have touched her papers or picked up her letters with their clumsy cop hands. Cecile might have gone crazy like I knew she could have, instead of saying, "I'm a citizen and I have rights." She and the Black Panthers might have demanded to see the policeman's search warrant. She might have reached out to protect her poems. The broken stool told me more than I wanted to know. I found 3 forks, 2 on the floor and 1 in the sink. I washed them along with 3 plates, and we went back out into the living room. Vanetta spread Cecile's tablecloth, and we sat down to eat. I said the blessing, asking God to protect Cecile while she was under arrest. And then we ate. Mean Lady Ming had thrown in 2 extra chicken wings, and that was good because we were hungry. Hungry, shook up, and tired. We have to clean up Cecile's kitchen before she comes home. Why? Vanetta asked. We didn't mess it up. We surely didn't, Fern said. We're cleaning the kitchen just because. Because? They said together. Because it should look right when Cecile comes home tomorrow. I expected a lot of lip from Vanetta and Fern on her side. I expected us to go back and forth and them saying, "Oh no, we're not," while I said, "Oh yes, we are." Instead, Vanetta asked, "What if she doesn't come home tomorrow? What if they keep her locked up like Brother Woods?" "Yeah," said Fern. "They could keep her and never let her go." They were right. The police could keep Cecile for days, even longer. My sisters waited for an answer, but for the first time I had no straw to spin. I could only clear away the food, plates, and forks. Head over to the classwork tab of the Google Classroom, open up your comprehension questions, pick a pretty font color, and start writing your responses to the chapter we just read. When you're finished, go ahead and scroll down over here on YouTube and find our vocab lesson quiz on Yummier Friday. Nice.
Yeah,
See
you
guys.
better study.
Mr. Todd says you better study. See y'all later.